You laugh differently with different people. Your voice changes depending on the room. Your opinions shift just enough to fit in. And later, when you're alone, something feels off. Not guilt, not shame, just a quiet question. Which one of those was actually you? You replay conversations in your head. You notice how easily you adapted, how naturally you mirrored them. And that's the confusing part. It didn't feel forced. It felt automatic. So now you're wondering, are you socially flexible or just fake? And more importantly, if you stopped adjusting, would people still like you? You don't completely change your personality. You just soften certain parts. You laugh a little earlier. You agree a little quicker. You hide opinions that might complicate things. With one group, you're quieter. With another, you're more confident. With someone else, you're careful, measured, observing, and every version of you is believable. But afterward, you feel oddly disconnected, like you were performing without realizing it. You hesitate before speaking. You scan faces while talking. You adjust mid-sentence. You become hyper-aware of reactions. And slowly, your personality stops feeling like something solid. It becomes something responsive, like water taking the shape of whatever container it's in. This doesn't just affect conversations, it affects decisions. You don't know what you actually want because your preferences shift depending on who you're around. It affects relationships. People feel close to you, but you don't feel fully seen. And it affects identity. You start asking questions like, do I even have a real personality? Or am I just reflecting everyone else? You're not fake. You're adaptive. Your brain learned early that social harmony equals safety, not physical safety, emotional safety, belonging, acceptance, reduced tension. This is called social mirroring, and it's a completely normal cognitive behavior. But in your case, it became stronger than usual. Your brain didn't just mirror emotions. It started mirroring identity. What protects you short-term can slowly blur you long-term. And this is where the real mechanism begins. Your brain has something called a predictive safety system. It constantly scans for social threats, disapproval, judgment, exclusion. Think of your personality like a dimmer switch, not on or off, but adjustable. Your brain lowers intensity in uncertain environments. It softens strong opinions. It delays disagreement. It mirrors tone and behavior. This activates something called cognitive alignment. Your brain believes if I match them, they won't reject me. And when that works, dopamine reinforces the behavior. You feel relief. The conversation flows smoothly. So your brain logs it as mirroring equals safe. Over time, this becomes automatic. You stop choosing who to be. Your environment chooses for you. Your identity becomes like a social thermostat. It constantly adjusts to keep the emotional temperature comfortable. But thermostats don't have personalities. They only respond. You don't feel fake because you're lying. You feel fake because you're always adjusting. And adjustment without a baseline creates identity blur. This isn't about forcing yourself to be rigid. It's about creating a core identity anchor so adaptation doesn't erase you. Start noticing when your tone, opinions, or energy shift automatically, not to stop it, just to observe it. Awareness activates the prefrontal cortex, which reduces automatic social mirroring. You move from reflex to choice. You agree with something in conversation, but internally you hesitate. Instead of correcting it, you just mentally note, I adjusted there. That small awareness weakens the automatic loop. Choose one small personal preference and keep it consistent everywhere. Music taste, humor style, speaking pace. Your brain starts recognizing a baseline. Pause briefly before agreeing with someone. Just 2 seconds. This interrupts automatic social conformity and allows your internal preference to surface. Allow small differences to exist. Not confrontational, just honest. Your brain learns that difference doesn't equal rejection. Focus on finishing your thought instead of scanning faces. This reduces self-monitoring load, which weakens identity shifting. You don't need to stop adapting. You just need a center. Think of yourself like a compass. It can move, it can travel, it can adjust direction, but it always has north. Right now, your compass spins based on surroundings. The goal isn't rigidity, it's gentle stabilization, so you can adapt without disappearing. You remain flexible, but recognizable to yourself, and slowly, that strange feeling of being fake starts fading, not because you're forcing authenticity, but because you're allowing consistency. You were never pretending. You were protecting, smoothing, adjusting. Your brain was trying to keep you connected, but connection without self-reference creates distance from yourself. And maybe that's why being alone sometimes feels more real, because nothing is pulling your personality in different directions. And when that happens, you don't suddenly become louder. You just become clearer, not to others, but to yourself. And the next time you leave a conversation, you won't wonder which version was real, because a quiet part of you will feel familiar. Still there, still steady, still you.